Guys, welcome back to the channel for some more My Hero Academia, the strongest hero content. Now, the My Hero Academia devs teasing what's coming next. Are there things meant to be coming? That's something I want to discuss in this video. But as always, guys, if you can show your support on the channel and on the video by going plus ultra, hitting the like and subscribe button. Of course, the support is always very much appreciated. While nothing is concrete, with the new recent festival event and some things that I've seen on social media, we could potentially see or have an insight as to what's coming next and even quite, further into the future. But it's all kind of speculation. Like I said, nothing's concrete. This is just kind of a discussion and start up something in the comments more than anything because I don't know anything. So yeah, it's just to start a discussion and just potentially, talk about the possibilities. But first, there's a new festival event which, by the way, 100% is very, very good and very good for free-to-play players in terms of rewards. It's literally just a matching game for like the picture of like characters. You have a normal mode which you can do daily, and you have an endless mode which, if you haven't seen it, I'll quickly show you now. You just match the pictures, or not match the pictures. You find the amount of pictures of that respected character on each stage. But one thing you will notice, which is what I want to talk about, is we're seeing characters that aren't currently in the game. Although it could simply be they already have their assets in the global side of the game because they're already on the TW and CN version of the game, and it could just simply be that they're using these assets to have a variety of characters in this event, just to, as I keep a variety. There's even Backdraft in there as well. Could he potentially be a future character? You never know, but you will notice there is Jiro there. The only thing that I know, the one thing that's a little bit ironic with me is Ashido just came out on the TW and the CN version of the game as a free-to-play A-rank character through the Battle Pass, which hopefully eventually she'll be added to the Class 1A banner, which it just makes sense. And then there was talks about data mining, which we've done a video on that as well. Zoro's Twitter link, as always, will be in the description down below. About Jiro having, that there's a deploy Jiro kind of code in the game, if you will. And Jiro is not on either version of the game. There's been no mention of her dropping on either version of the game. And we talked about how they could be global exclusives. Of course, Shido isn't, but they're using Jiro's, they're using a Jiro asset of the display picture in this festival game right now. And it seems all the characters they're using have some form or another of representation of being playable in the game, or eventually will be playable in the game. For example, I don't know if one's already popped up already. That's the wrong person. We need to find Tokiyami's. You'll notice as well that Darby, Stain specifically on this stage, are popping up as assets as well in this game. And of course, it's speculating and not even speculating, it's incredibly likely that Stain is going to be following Aizawa coming next. So, maybe, just maybe, it's potentially planning or teasing future heroes that are coming. Maybe Backdraft could be playable, who knows? I mean, that one, not so likely, but as I said, there's Stain, who is incredibly likely, almost guaranteed to be coming after Aizawa. Darby, of course, his assets and his moveset was found in the game files, and you could actually see him, like, gameplay of him. And then there's also, I don't know if he's popped up yet, there's also Shigaraki in here. There's Present Mike, which is quite a curious one as well. But there's also Shigaraki, as I said, and then Stain, who's coming next, and then Darby, who knows when he's dropping on the TW and CN version of the game. Now that it kind of looks like they're back supporting the game and back in the swing of things, maybe he'll be coming soon, because it did look like he was meant to be coming next. And there's Momo. I'm not sure if one of Shigaraki's come up yet. He's still not there. He's still not there. As I said, the only one that kind of I find quite ironic and piques my interest is Jiro being in here on the global side of the game. In this, and we know potentially at one point she will be playable. I am tapping the blank area that she will be playable. It's just, there's no representation of her in the game yet. So maybe she will end up being a global exclusive. Maybe she's coming to global soon as a filler character. Who knows? Or maybe they're going to do a similar thing to the Taiwan version of the game, the CM version of the game. And maybe she's going to be an A-rank character as well that ends up being on the Battle Pass. That's the only one I find quite ironic, because Ashido isn't, her assets aren't used in this game. Maybe it's as simple as, Jiro's assets were put in the global version of the game to be used before Ashido's, and hers were finalized before Ashido's, and it could just simply be that. Or maybe there's something more to it. As I said, nothing's concrete. It's all speculation. It's more just for a discussion video, if anything. But yeah, there's also, as you would have seen, Stain. If he didn't pop up, there's Shigaraki in there as well. As I said, there's Darby, and that seems to be the timeline that TW and CN are following. It was Endeavor, then it's Stain. Of course, Aizawa dropped in as a filler banner on the TW and CN version of the game, like they're doing on Global right now, followed by Stain, Shigaraki, and then it was meant to be Darby, but then it kind of disappeared for 3 months, and now they're back. So Darby should probably be coming soon on the TWCN version of the games. Don't quote me on that, but that's probably how it will end up going. And now they're using those assets in this game. So one thing is confirmed is it looks like Global are currently following the same timeline as the TW and CN version of the game, which, as I said, was Endeavor, Aizawa as a filler banner, Stain, Shigaraki, and then potentially Darby, and then Global probably won't have to wait as long for Darby as TW and CN because Global is its own entity. They're doing things different over here. So the only other one that piques my interest is the present Mike. He does have a form of representation in the game, I'm pretty sure. But a lot of these characters who have representation in this festival mode are playable characters in some format or will end up being playable. We have all the Class 1A units. We have Deku, Bakugo, Shoto, Momo, Sue, Grape Juice, Aizawa, All Might, Endeavor. All those characters are playable in the game. Tokiyami, just to name all of them potentially or a few, they are playable in the game currently. And then we also have Stain, who will eventually be playable. He's meant to be coming after Aizawa, almost guaranteed, will be playable. Shigaraki will be playable on the global side of the game. Darby will eventually be playable on the global side of the game. With Ishido dropping on the Taiwan and the CM version of the game, she is a playable character. As I said, she's not in this, but Jiro is. So eventually at one point, Jiro will be playable. Whether she'll end up being a global exclusive, who knows? As I said, that's the only ironic one, that her assets are here, but Ishido's aren't. It just could be that, as I said, Jiro's assets were finalized before Ishido's on global, and that could be it. But then also there's Present Mike. So does that mean Present Mike will be a playable future character in the game at some point? Will he be a S-rank character we can summon for? There's also Backdraft in there, which I think is the only anomaly. Maybe they might add him as a playable character or something. I know he has a support card, but that's the only anomaly. Every single character in there has a form of playable character or will be, specifically Stain, Shigaraki, and Darby, and then of course Jiro. So that's the only one. Are they teasing? Are they, potentially teasing us, saying that eventually we will be dropping a Present Mike character that you can summon for? Will he be an S-rank character? Who knows? The only other thing I want to talk about is something I saw in a Clint Wulf video. And it kind of goes in line with what I was talking about and kind of adds to that speculation. Link, of course, will be in the description down below for this video. But I kind of wanted to use it because it kind of ties into what I'm saying. And here's one of the news, like a part of the news. The Endeavor event has ended and the development team is calculating the event recruit tickets. Of course, we know all about that. As a reminder, all characters, cards, and items in their My Hero Academia Strongest Hero have been turned. For earlier versions of the game, that's cut off, to be closer in line with the developer's vision and will result in a more fair gameplay experience for all players. And then there's this bit. Thank you for your patience on this. In the meanwhile, we have been working on lots of exciting updates for the coming weeks, including your favorite teacher, more pro heroes, and villain month, plus ultra. This is the bit I want to talk about, this last bit, including your favorite teacher. This could simply mean Aizawa, and Clint does go to talk about it in this video. He does mention they could just be referring to Aizawa, which is of course out on global right now. The only other teacher, and this links into this new festival event, is Present Mike. Now, as I said, they could just be referring to Aizawa, which of course is already out right now on global. But as I said, Present Mike is in that festival event. Maybe they could be referring to him, but in my eyes, I think they're just referring to Aizawa at this point. And there's more pro heroes, which, in terms of the timeline, in terms of summonable S-rank characters, like All Might and Endeavor, there isn't no heroes that have come out in the TW and CN version of the game. It's Stain, Shigaraki, Darby. The only pro hero I can think of, and again, referring to what I was talking about, which is this festival event, which could be teasing or using assets of upcoming playable characters and summonable heroes and summonable characters in the game in general, is Jiro. As I said, Ishido's on the global, the TW and CN version of the game. on the Battle Pass as a free character, maybe the Pro Heroes bit is referring to Jiro coming to Global in the exact same way. Maybe she's going to be an A-rank character. Maybe there's a different free-to-play way of getting her. Maybe she's also going to be on a Battle Pass. Maybe they're just going to straight add her to the Class 1A banner. I don't know. Maybe she's going to be an S-rank character instead, and maybe we can summon for her, like on those special banners where they add the S-rank characters from the Class 1A banner, like Todoroki, Tokiyami, Momo, Bakugo. Maybe something like that. I don't see her being an S-rank character, but you never know. Or maybe they're referring to someone completely different when they say more pro heroes. You know, Backdraft is in that festival event. They could be referring to him. I don't know why they would choose him, but you never know. But more pro heroes could mean Jiro, which I think is potentially likely. They could mean someone who isn't even in the TW and CN version of the game. I said Global's going to be its own entity, so maybe they might shake things up. And Global might get its first exclusive. I mean, potentially with Jiro, as we discussed before, or someone completely different who we haven't even mentioned yet. Who knows? And then we have Villain Month, which I know nothing about Villain Month. I know Clint Wulf goes to talk about it in this video. So if you want to watch this video and see what he's talking about in terms of what he like in this video, the link again will be in the description down below. As I said, this bit of what he used as the news kind of links to what I was talking about, so I wanted to use it. And it's not in the game, so yeah. But yeah, Villain Month. I know nothing about that. I know he goes to talk about DC have a Villain Month, and he goes to talk about potentially when these characters could be dropping, and I kind of agree with him. Essentially, what he goes on to say is that we have Aizawa out now. He's only out for a week. Stain is meant to potentially be dropping after Aizawa. So maybe with the Villain Month, then we won't be getting Stain this month. Maybe we'll be getting Stain in August, and Shigaraki also in August if they're doing something with a Villain Month and dropping the first set of villain characters on the global side of the game. So maybe Stain and Shigaraki will end up coming out on in August on the global side of the game. You know, we have 2 weeks of Stain, then we have the next 2 weeks of Shigaraki, or maybe we have, you know, Stain at the end of this month going into, you know, August, have a week break of a special banner just as filler to tie us over. Well, not really tie us over, but before we get another S rank summon character. And then Shigaraki is for like the remainder of August or something. Or who knows, maybe they can completely shake something up. Maybe Stain will come at the end of this month, and then maybe in August we'll get Shigaraki, and at the end of the month we have Derby. Who knows? But apparently they're planning in a Villain Month. I mean, it makes sense, especially with Stain being next, but the most likely one I reckon could be Stain and Shigaraki in the following month. And as I said, Clint Wulf talks about it in this video as well, and how DC has a Villain Month and talks about it in there. But who knows at this point? I just think it's quite interesting from seeing this, including your favorite teacher part, which, as I said, could easily be Aizawa, and Clint Wolf says the same thing. More pro heroes, which could be signaling that we're getting Jiro added to the game, whereas TW and CN had Ashido added to the game, or maybe they're adding someone completely different and new, and a global exclusive, and a character we haven't seen, you know, in My Hero, the strongest hero at all yet. And then the Villain Month, which, as I said, and Clint Wolf said the same thing. Maybe in August we're going to get Stain and Shigaraki, and then maybe, not really in my opinion, but potentially they could shake things up, and we could have Stain at the end of this month after Aizawa, and going into August we could have Shigaraki, and at the end of the month we could potentially have Derby. I mean, who knows? So I said at the beginning of the video, it's all kind of speculation and all stuff I just kind of wanted to talk about. Originally, I was just going to kind of talk about the festival event and kind of, you know, seeing these assets in there, you know, could be teasing upcoming heroes and villains and characters essentially coming to the game, and Present Mike being in there and Jiro. But after seeing that Clint Wolf video, combined with the new festival event and the assets they're using of these characters that are meant to be coming to the game soon, I don't know. I thought it'd be an interesting discussion video and a topic to bring up. I probably rambled on a little bit longer than I wanted to. I don't know. It's all speculation. It's all up in the air. I just kind of wanted to start a discussion. Let me know what you think down in the comments. As I said, the Clint Wolf video, link in the description. It will be there for you if you're going to go check out his video and what he has to say. It's shorter than mine. So yeah. Let me know what you think. Just let me know what you think. But yeah, I'm going to go. And as always, if you have enjoyed, don't forget to drop a like on the video and consider subscribing. It is free. As always, guys, I'll see you in the next one. Peace.